Who said Christians don't know how to have fun? Why is this common misconception keep coming up? People say that once you become a Christian, like you ain't allowed to have fun anymore, or you don't have fun. You got to be uptight and all stuffy and like nothing's funny anymore, nothing's beautiful anymore. You don't go to the same movies anymore. You don't go out to the club or to the bars anymore. You don't go out and shoot pool and smoke cigarettes and drink beer. All these things are the common ways that people be having fun. And for some reason, we got the misconception that Christians don't know how to have fun. Where did this come from? What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Clint, and this is Late Night Coffee, a place where we just open up the pages of scripture or just talk about whatever's going on in the world today. And tonight I wanted to get into the topic of the misconception that Christians don't know how to have fun or don't have fun anymore. I don't know where this came from or why people believe this or why this misconception even exists. But if you're interested in that, let's get into it. Why do people think that Christians don't know how to have fun? Honestly, I come from a long line of years and years of being very experienced in having fun. I am actually an expert in fun. And what I came to realize is that I lost my way of having fun, or maybe I never even knew how to have fun properly until I truly came to God. There's this time gap of like being a kid and growing up, and you know how to have fun. You're like the king of having fun. You know just how to do it. But then once I hit the alcohol and the drug times, like once I became a teenager and hit high school, and that whole gap between being a kid and being an alcoholic, and then when I finally quit and came to God, that whole gap before coming to God was just wasted in alcohol. Honestly, that's my resume as being an expert of having fun. But when I was in the world and living this sinful, normal life with everybody else, going to the clubs, like I have so many different ways of like getting people together and having fun. I was a party connoisseur. I was an alcoholic connoisseur. Like I know like all the best different liquors, all the best different drinks, all the best different ways of putting all these things together. And in my faith now, I realize that I have the gift of like hospitality. That means I like to put parties together. I like to have people over, come around, and let's party. Ever since I was in the Marine Corps, I remember I always had the room, and I always said, when I was in the Marine Corps, you had like 4 roommates, and we all stayed in the barracks, and we all had all our different rooms, depending on how many floors your building was, but it was usually like 3 to 4 floors per barracks, and we all had like decent sized rooms. When you're low rank, you had to stay like 2 to 4 people in a room, and every time, whenever I stayed, I always became good friends with my roommates, and then it was always the place to be. I'm just being honest and humble because I like to provide for friends whenever they came over, and they'd always want to come over. So I always had like the video game set up that was tight, and then it was always like able to play multiple players. Like Tekken was out, Tekken was out. Those games were huge. Street Fighter. When we come over and play, or Madden. If you like to play Madden, then we throw it on. My roommate had Halo. He was a Xbox guy. We're not gonna get into that. But basically, I'd always love the host. You want to come over? All right. Then I'm gonna have some beers ready, or I'm gonna have some food ready, and everybody would always just come by and chill. It was like the open door policy. Like if you ever got friends and that you can go, like if you go visit your mom's door is always open. You go visit your aunts, if you got aunts like that, your aunts are always open. Your uncles, I was that guy, and my roommates were always into it because, I was the one that would put it together, and I just always kind of remember I had that talent to like want to have a party, host it. So by that resume that I'm explaining to you, I'm saying that I knew how to get a party going. I knew how to get some people going, and we go out and have fun. I still feel like I have that talent, but I now realize where I lost my way. So now I can only speak for myself today, but I feel like what happens in our lives is we get older, and from the time when we're teenagers till we start drinking and drugging, whatever you might do, if you don't, good on you. Hopefully you're not, addicted to sex or anything else, food. Those are different topics, but right now I'm just talking about my deception that Satan got a hold of me, and really I fell down a path of like alcohol and drug addiction and, all the wild party life. So that whole time span was kind of sucked. Even though I think I had fun, it wasn't really that genuine, true, godly fun that I'm having now. Because when I think about it, when I was a kid before, I knew how to have fun. I had a lot of fun. Me and my friends would just, go out and played sports. We climbed trees. We hunted. We did a bunch of stuff. I grew up on a reserve, and the reserve sucks, but I still had a ton of fun. Laughing, playing games, and just the innocent childhood fun that just is genuine. You know what I'm saying, because you've been a kid before. So anyway, you know how to have fun, and that is true joy. So now fast forward, all this life without God is just kind of wasted artificial fun that I thought I was having fun. I had to drink to have fun. I had to get high or do something in order to have fun. I got to the point where I thought like I need alcohol or drugs or something in order for whatever I'm doing to be fun. Like watching a movie. I thought it would be funner if you were drinking and watching a movie. I never thought I would get to that point, but I did. I was just having drinks before I went to the movie theater. And then movie theaters start serving alcohol, and that made it even easier. I still don't know how I went down the path of like enjoying drinking while you watch a movie, because every time I drank and watched a movie, I don't remember what happened in the movie. It's all blurred together. And I watch back movies that I used to watch several times, and I watch them sober now, and I'm like, I feel like I've never seen this movie. What is going on? That's how crazy it is. So anyway, I say all that to say, fast forward to now that I've sobered up, and this is something I really want to say to y'all out there struggling with it. Your joy and your love and everything will come back if you put down the alcohol and the drugs. You can have way more fun without that. You can have way more fun without the drugs and alcohol, because now you're sober, and if you're sober long enough, your natural hormones and dopamine and everything really starts to get moving, and you don't need the alcohol or drugs to trigger that. You naturally have it like you were when you were a little kid. Little kid, you had fun. Now, put all that aside. Fast forward to after you're with Christ. Quit all the drugs and alcohol. Now you can really have fun, and you can really socialize with people, which is a big thing. So what happened with me was I slowly got sober, right? I'm involved in my church. I'm involved in a CR recovery program, and I'm meeting friends, and we're all kind of in the same boat. We're all Christians trying to go to church. We're all trying to stay sober and having game nights. And I slowly started to have those really fun experiences where you just sit around with friends, joke around, and like just have a fun, joyous time. And it took a while, but it just really shattered my world when I realized like I could have been doing this whole time, but I always thought I had to have a drink in order to have fun. How lost is that? I thought I had to be, going home with a beautiful girl every night in order to be like making that a fun night. I had to be like in the best places in the world, like, on vacation at some beautiful beach or in Las Vegas, or just like the places to be. I felt like I had to be in these spots in order for my joy or my fun to actually be something, because I had to be able to share the story, I guess, with other people and be like, hey, look, I had fun over here. No, you can have fun anywhere. When you was a little kid, you had fun at your best friend's house playing in the mud. You had fun, just with your friends at a little birthday party, and you guys had cake. You just got to eat some crazy sugar, and you got to rush, and you had fun. So I'm arguing a point that, one, you don't need alcohol. You don't need any kind of drugs. You don't need any kind of crazy things like that. So then what kind of fun are we missing out on if we don't need those things? What is there that we're missing out on? If you ask me, you go to a church or any of those kind of functions and you see what kind of fun that they're having without alcohol or drugs. Tell me, who has more fun than that? Than when you go to a church function and they're wilding out. Tell me, who is? Without drugs or alcohol. Well, besides, or even if you go to a sports game, alcohol served. If you go to a bowling alley, alcohol served. If you go to a pool hall, alcohol served. All right, okay, gaming convention, you might have me there. Gamers might have something, but still, they're lost and they're not really having fun. They're hating each other. And if you ever went to a gaming convention, you know what it smells like there, and it does not smell right. You can't have too much fun there. Anyway, if you got anything that you'd like to add to this, or any experiences you had, please share them, post them down in the comments, and I will see you guys in another one. If you like the video, please leave a like, subscribe, do all the good things, and I will see you guys in another one. Bye for now.